Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for the 6th of Feb 2018. So a very interesting day yesterday, well, sort of end of the day. But before we get to that, let's have a look at the pound. Up slightly, 50 points. Then the market reversed and moved back to the downside before finding some support at around 4 p.m. And then as the market moved lower, again it's become sideways, as you can see there. And in the daily chart, the market continued to move lower yesterday, taking out the 76% that we drew in, and the 139.79, which is from this low, and now drawn in this one as well, where the market could potentially find a new low there, 139.157. So at the moment back below the crucial 140 for the pound. News today, it's Tuesday. I was going to say it's Tuesday, it should be quiet, but maybe it won't be, which we'll look at in just a moment. But Bubba, President Weidman is speaking at 9 a.m. and then there's nothing after this. So in the Dow, we see this down 4.6%, down 1,175 points for yesterday. But this didn't happen as a slow thing. This was a bit of a sort of a flash crash. If you look at the chart, you will see that everything was fine. The market was actually up to begin with, then started to make its way down slowly, a bit of a bounce, and then it just curved over, and then we had this big drop which came in. The first 5 minutes was 10 minutes past 8, and then you see the market come back. And what's really interesting here is the lack of volume, no real selling. I mean, we start to see some after the market closed, and during the Asian session there we've seen a bit, and then the market starting to make its way back with some buying, which you can see there. So what happened, I don't know, but according to Zero Hedge, they were saying that the volatility broke in the VIX, and that sent the market. But there doesn't seem to be too much selling around in the 5-minute chart, but in the daily chart there's a bit to be seen there. But on the overnight, you can see the market's making its way back. I went straight through yesterday's 76% that we drew in, also the 24,684. I drew in another 76% from this low to this high, and that was taken out. And then of course we've got the low going back to November that the market touched on the overnight session there. So is the down move over for this, or the correction in this market? I don't know, but one thing I will say, if we go back to here and go to the implied volatility, you can see that this has actually doubled now from that 8 to 17 that we spoke about for the last few days. And when you get 100% increase in implied volatility, the underlying market move is generally over. What will happen is it will become sideways and volatile. If not, it will do the other alternative. And if I just go back to the daily chart, what you will get is the classic V-shaped correction, which you will have seen in the daily chart many times during 2000 and or between 2009 and now. I mean, there's one there where it's come down and dropped. Doesn't look like a big move, but they are big moves. You'll see this all the time. I've covered this before in the Market Alert when we've had these corrections. So that will be interesting to see how it pans out, but I don't think they're going to let this go just yet. This is a bit like 2007, 2008. We had a correction in January of 2007, but it was August of 2008 before the market started to fall apart. So all the news, of course, will be saying that the market's crashed, but you can see here it's not crashed, it's corrected. And to be honest with you, there's only 2% drop on Friday and 4%, it's only a 6% correction. 20% drop is required to change the trend from bullish to bearish. So there's a long way to go in this at this time. So even a 1200 point drop is absolutely nothing, given that the market is trading at 26,000 level, or heading towards that 27,000. So again, it's worth just stepping back and looking at the bigger picture. You can see that yes, we're from November. This is not November. This is last year when Trump was in. Not July. This will be. Let me just have a look. November. This is when Trump was in. Yeah, when Trump got in, and the market's just gone up, but it's not given much back percentage-wise here. And then if you look at the monthly chart, well, back to 2009 when they started printing the money and pumping the markets, you can see nothing really here either. So again, it's always good to step back and look at the bigger picture. And just going back to the volatility, if you move out to the 6 month, you can see again you've got that doubling of implied, but when you overlay this with the prices, it's not that bad at all. And then the 1 year, the 2 year, and then the 12 year, and you can see we're just breaking out. We haven't had a good breakout in volatility since 2016, so we're back to these sort of resistance levels. So I'd say there was some sort of support coming into this market today, unless of course something comes out of left field, as they say, or the algorithms all start selling on the high frequency systems. Who knows? But given the repeatable pattern of the last 10 years and the implied volatility, now it's been allowed to break because the VIX has had the lid taken off it, then I would expect the market to find some sort of support there. Right, a quick look at Bitcoin, which continues its slide. It's a massive pullback in this market from the 20,000 highs. We've broken 6,000 in the overnight, if I am not mistaken. A low of 621 on the, I think this is the Coinbase exchange. So 6,021, I should say, not 601. 6,021 there you can see. So we're going to go down to, this isn't over at all, we're going down to here. There's just selling after selling around here. Now I know that the SEC and the CTA in the US are looking at regulating, trying to bring some sort of regulation to Bitcoin as well, and if that happens, this is going to continue to slide. Also, Lloyds Bank has actually banned customers from buying Bitcoins using credit cards. No doubt there'll be others following suit, and our friend there, JP Morgan, Mr. Diamond, also Bank of America and Citigroup are banning customers from buying Bitcoin on their credit cards, and that's not a bad thing, frankly. I mean, it's highly speculative. It's the Wild West of trading, and a bit foolhardy, frankly, to actually buy Bitcoins using credit card, especially if you were buying in at the 20,000 level. You've still got to make those payments, and you're now watching Bitcoin do this, and a lot of people were chasing this move. You never chase it. Always wait for the pullback and then get into the market. Simple as that. Sit on your hands, as I've said before. In the days of when we used to phone the brokerage firm to place orders, you had the temptation that you wanted to get into the market, then open the drawer, put your dialing finger in and slam it and wait for the pain to go off and then reconsider the position. Today it's so easy because you can do all of this stuff on a mobile phone, and it actually stops a lot of that discipline of actually being able to step back and take a considered view before actually getting into the market. But Bitcoin lower at the moment. I thought it was going to consolidate at this area, as I said, but it's since broken, and the only support area is here, where there was a shakeout there and then they were able to move the market. But this isn't going to go up. It isn't going to do a V-shaped correction off this. It does move sharply back to the upside once it gets going, but it's going to have to consolidate, that's for sure, having come off these sorts of big moves, as you'll see there. If we wind the chart back, I mean, if it breaks this low here of all the fives, then the next one is down here at 3720, and by the time we get down to here at 1830, most people will have given up on it. So whether this is a concerted effort by the powers that be through using the futures contract to move the market, I don't know, but It's going to be interesting to see if the market holds at this level. We haven't seen a green bar since Saturday in this market, and whichever day that was, probably Tuesday, Wednesday of last week. So it's sell, sell, sell all the way at the moment for Bitcoin. Right, that will do it for this one. I will be missing in action today, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm out and about, unfortunately, but it is what it is. So I won't be reporting in if I do see anything, and hopefully it'll be when I return, as of yesterday, just to be able to take advantage. And hopefully Windows 10 won't do any updates on this newly installed PC. Right, that's it. As ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.